Indulge me in a scenario, if you will. Let's say you're out doing some shopping and you happen to bump into a friend. He notices you and tells you he's having a birthday party and hands you an invitation. Now, you have known this friend for a while. He isn't a childhood friend or anything like that, but you feel like you know him well enough to accept the invitation. So you graciously thank him and assure him that you will be in attendance. As you are headed home, you remember that your friend is doing pretty well for himself. You begin to think that this could be a really nice party. You go out, try to find a thoughtful gift for him before the party. You iron your best shirt and slacks. You aren't running a tux or anything, but you are putting some effort into your preparations. Finally, the day of the party comes. You go to the address on the invitation, and upon arrival you find a scene very different than you expected. As you gaze upon the venue, you immediately recognize that there are no decorations. There is no food or drinks, no music, party games or activities of any sort. There isn't even a birthday cake. What you do find is a room that is, for the most part, completely empty. The only evidence of any preparation being made are a bunch of folding chairs set up haphazardly in the room with no organization. You aren't even sure if your friend set them up or if the people who used the room before just neglected to put them away. So you and all the other guests start to sit down in these bizarrely arranged chairs. For a moment, there's a stunned silence. Then the other guests start to converse amongst one another. Some are understandably angry with your friend for wasting their time. A few are fiercely loyal to your friend and are arguing as if what they are witnessing is not only acceptable, but probably should have been expected. Not you, though. You sit in your chair quietly perplexed and bewildered. You assume that what you're seeing can't be your friend's intentions. You wonder if perhaps he put the wrong address on the invitations. You carefully start observing the ceiling of the room, expecting at any moment to notice the well-hidden streamers and balloons to start descending to your amazement, completely subverting your expectations and blowing your mind. But nothing happens. You sit in silence a little while longer, trying to make some sense out of the situation. Eventually, you begin to wonder if you had inadvertently did something to antagonize your friend. You can't think of anything, but it would at least make the scenario you are now in make some sort of sense and explain your friend's motivation to do this. Eventually, people begin to realize that your friend is in fact not going to make an appearance, and some guests start to file out to their vehicles. Some still continue to bicker between themselves, but you find that ultimately unproductive and decide eventually to get up from your chair and leave with the same confusion that you arrived with. A few days later, you're out shopping again and happen to bump into that friend. You feel at this point it's only right to demand some sort of explanation. So you decide to confront him and ask him what happened with the party. Where were you? Why was the venue a nearly empty room? Hoping your friend can provide some sort of explanation that will make it all make sense. Instead, you get a very different reaction. He looks at you, somewhat puzzled, but mostly indignant, and replies, "What are you talking about? There was a party." That's the Genshin Impact Anniversary in a nutshell.